having something of a pinch me moment filming this video because I can't believe that there are 20,000 people who've seen the content that I created with Vigo and chose to follow us. So if you are one of those 20,000 people, first of all, thank you so much. I remember when I first started this profile, feeling like 20,000 was such a big number. And I remember that being like a milestone in my mind and thinking that it would take me years to hit. So the fact that we've hit it in 3.5 months is just absolutely incredible. So thank you so much. This is not going to be my usual content. I thought I would share how we have grown to 20,000 followers in 3.5 months. And if it's helpful, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to film a follow-up around how we got our first paid partnership. This is going to be a long video. I'm trying to capture absolutely everything I can think of that contributed to our growth. So save it for later if you don't have time, or go and pour yourself a cup of tea because we're going to be here for a minute. I started this account from a place of wanting to build community and wanting to not even build community, but tap into community. We were about to bring home Vigo, who at the time was named Fox. Let me know in the comments if you were here back when he was called Fox. And I knew that I was really passionate about dog training. I also had a very distinct approach that none of my friends seemed to have taken with their dogs. So I really wanted to find a way to tap into other people who had that same approach and also share what we were doing. It was kind of like a journal / opportunity to reach out to other people kind of vibe. And honestly, I think that's a huge contributor to our growth, is that TikTok can see that we are genuinely here to create and contribute to community. I think TikTok is very much, obviously their goal is to keep people in the app. My 2 cents is that they push and prioritize people who contribute and build community. So what did that look like? Well, first of all, before we brought Vigo home, I was posting maybe like once every few days. As soon as we brought Vigo home from the 19th of February, I started posting at least once a day. I think for the first like 3 weeks, I posted 3 times a day. And then for the next month, I posted twice a day. And then for the past like month and a half-ish, I've been posting normally once a day. Even when I thought my content was terrible, I still forced myself to hit publish. And funnily, some of the pieces of content that I was this close to not publishing are the ones that ended up going viral and getting hundreds of thousands of views. My rule was I post every single day, even if what I think I'm posting isn't very good. In terms of what I was posting, I tried to do a combination of trends and edutainment, or like educational entertainment. I tried to tap into trends and tried to find like a unique spin on it. And what I would do as well is I would save sounds that I liked, and then every day I would just go in and see what sounds I had and what I could come up with for the day. In terms of the educational content, as a new puppy parent, there was so much that I was Googling myself that I just created content around the things that I was researching and finding answers for myself for. Things like how to introduce a puppy to someone else's home. A video that sounds super niche, but that I really needed, that ended up doing quite well. And that's really been the crux of most of my content. I basically created what I myself would want to consume. But the reason why I think, especially at the beginning, it was important to do one trend and one like educational piece a day at least, I saw it as the trend helps get reach, and then the educational content helps create depth of relationship with people. In terms of my videos themselves, I've been trying to do a combination for my like educational content. On lazy days, I'll take a training video and do a voiceover and talk through what I'm training in that video. Other days, I'll do a video like this where I'm talking to the camera. My setup is I have a ring light, I've got my phone. I've been trying to play with the microphone. The microphone, I don't think it's been working very well, but I have it. I might try and get a different one. But then I put the video into an app called InShot. And in InShot, I'm able to essentially layer over shots of other things so that the video is not just me sat in front of a camera talking to you, but you can also see shots of Vigo, shots of us doing things. And I just think, again, the way that I consume content, it makes it more interesting for me. So I imagine it makes it more interesting for people watching. Which brings me on to another point, which I think I've got such a unique perspective on TikTok, which might not be the right one, but I think given that I've spent so much time on this app, I feel like there's a shift happening, and I've seen other people talk about this, and I absolutely agree with it. I think TikTok is becoming like what a YouTube used to be. So YouTube started out with people making funny videos, cat memes, and then it became more of an educational platform. And I think that's exactly what's happening with TikTok, where people want to use it as a way to learn new things, but in a fun, digestible way. That said, I think when we think of TikTok, we think of videos that are 30 seconds long, 25 seconds long. With one exception, I have never paid attention to how long my videos are. And I know a lot of people will say, make them short so that it loops and then you get more views. I'm just trying to deliver quality content that I would want to consume. So if that takes 10 minutes, it takes 10 minutes. If it takes 2 minutes, it takes 2 minutes. Could my videos be shorter? I'm sure they could be, but I also am mindful that the longer time you spend with me, like if you're still here watching this video, kind of building a relationship, right? Like you care about what I have to say, and if you don't, that's okay too, and you can keep scrolling. I'm not trying to make my videos long. I'm not trying to make them short. They just are what they are, and I'm trying to deliver as much value and information as I can. I think if you're trying to grow and you're doing the one trend and one educational piece a day, have the trend be your short piece of content, but don't think too much about the educational piece of content being less than 1 minute, for example. And actually on that note, I started receiving messages from TikTok saying they're actually favoring content that's longer now. So who knows what's happening at TikTok? Just focus on making good quality content. Which brings me on to my next point, which is around community building. I know I've said community a lot in this video, but I thoroughly believe that community is it's kind of like the secret sauce. And I don't think it's something that you can reverse engineer or fake. The few things that I did to kind of help build my community and help create a space for dog owners to get together. And I love going through my comment sections because people have different opinions, different perspectives. Sometimes people tell me things that I didn't know. I'm not an expert, I'm just a dog mom. So any help that someone gives me, I'm super grateful for. But I make a point of really trying to respond to every single comment. And I don't have so much time for it anymore, but when I was beginning, I would proactively go on Dog Talk and comment on people's videos. And I still try and do that, but I definitely don't do it as much as I used to. But that creates signals, I think, for TikTok to know, okay, this person is culturing and contributing to building a community on this platform. All that said, what do I think is the biggest blocker for people growing on TikTok? For me, that's getting over the fear of other people knowing that you want to start a TikTok. I literally was speaking with someone yesterday, a friend of mine who's about to start a TikTok page potentially in a completely different niche. And she was like, I'm kind of nervous. Like, what's my family gonna think? What are my friends gonna think? And that is such a normal feeling, right? I'll never forget when I first shared that I'd started this TikTok account. I had 35 followers. One person said, 35 friends and family. And I was thinking, I didn't want to get into a conversation, but I was like, no, these are 35 strangers who just like my content. Because I hadn't told anyone about it. I didn't want people to know. And then someone else said, you want to be famous on TikTok? And I felt such shame and I felt so embarrassed. And I actually hate talking about my TikTok account to most people. There's a few people that I like talking about it with, but most people I don't like talking about it to. But that feeling is super normal. And that feeling is the reason why 99.9% of people will never start their TikTok account, will never build a community around the things that they're passionate about. I get so much joy out of the community here and out of being able to tap into people's expertise. This works for anything that you're passionate about, whether it's cooking or mocktails or landscape artistry or architecture, like whatever the thing is that you're passionate about. I actually believe that TikTok is better than any other platform to specifically find your specific type of people. Instagram doesn't do it, Facebook doesn't do it. TikTok is remarkably powerful at finding people that are like-minded and bringing them together, in my opinion. I think that those are all my tips. Those are all my big tips. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions at all. And again, if you want a follow-up video around how we got our first paid partnership, I'm also happy to share information around how we did that and what our experience in like the influencing world has been so far, our limited experience. If you're one of the 20,000 people following us, thank you so much. And yeah, I'll answer any questions if you have any.